Noxcrew! 'Twas Christmas with the Noxcrew, and all through the server everything stood silent, not one single murmur. The chambers were empty, the strike maps were down, the villagers slept safe in their testificate towns. The game show was abandoned, all out was the light, everything was calm on that cold winter night. Of course, here I'm lying, Nox Court was a buzz, aglow with Christmas spirit and feelings of fuzz. Whatever. The builders were laughing, sweeping weightless in the air, letting off fireworks and explosions without one single care. The musicians and artists in harmony at last played music as loud as their speakers could blast. The writers watched the others and wrote games they could play, and warm hearty stories for the coming Christmas day. The leader watched on merrily like good old Saint Nick, but trouble was coming, and it was coming quite quick, for all of a sudden there came such a clatter. Everyone leapt to their feet to see what was the matter. They all blinked their eyes and looked with a frown. For there was Santa Claus laying flat on the ground, with fire all around him and no sign of the sleigh. What was he doing out before Christmas Day? As it happens, so I'm told, as he flew right on by, one of their fireworks had knocked him right out of the sky. Now the presents were gone. They were all in a pinch. Looked like party time for that mean Mr. Grinch. But you know that old crew were so sly and so slick, they hatched 10 new ideas and they hatched them up quick. "We've a factory," cried the leader, "and people to build. Together we can ensure Santa's sleigh is refilled." The groups stared back with a frown or a smirk. They rebuild Christmas? Did he think it would work? That they could save Christmas in one single night? He had to be joking. He had to be. Right? Sure, they had a factory, but nothing to make. They didn't make toys, they couldn't even make cake. But the leader, of course, wasn't one to give in, so he bound for the factory with a terrible grin. The groups followed suit with a groan or a sigh and kissed their holiday adventures goodbye. The factory was abandoned, as I said before, with dust and cobwebs all over the floor. No one had come here and the butcher had gone home. Even madmen shouldn't spend Christmas alone. The machines made games, not toys nor tricks. Clearly saving Christmas wasn't a quick fix. But the writers jumped up, ideas brought to life, as they set them all down as quick as a knife. They'd think up the toys, lay them out in their heads, for the artists to draw, the instructions then read by the builders who make them as fast as they can, while the musicians, the boredom they ban. Together they make it a game they could play, to hasten the night and bring on the day. So then with the sun high up in the sky, away with a full sled Santa could fly. So they set off to work, but little did they know, Santa was still lying face down in the snow. With all the commotion and planning ahead, no one had checked to see he was dead. He wasn't, of course, that's far too gory. Even we wouldn't do that sick sort of story. No, he was just knocked out from that fall that he took. Of course, no one was bothered to check or to look until all the presents were packed safely away, ready to be delivered on that one special day. Only then did they see that all was not well. We are rather slow, I guess you can tell. But the leader again took up the cry. "We can deliver, we know how to fly, we'll get this crap back to the North Pole quite quick and deal with the damage we did to old Nick." So the group, all exhausted, laid out on the floor, whittled themselves to an unlucky 4 to go with the leader on this madcap flight, so off they all went in the grey dawning light. They flew high over mountains and the deep deadly sea, past the wastelands and forests in a strange Christmas tree. The 5 looked over the land they had built, the hours they'd slaved, the times they'd rebuilt and rebuilt, structures, games, chambers and maps, long summer days, short winter naps. But now they stood proud over all they had done, together, one family just having fun. The elves, sad to say, were not so impressed at the 5 shambled sleigh and just as distressed at their master and leader laid out in the back, moaning and groaning, all bruised green and black. "You're a menace," cried Santa, crawling weakly to his feet. "Of all the Minecrafters, you're hard to beat." "We're crazy," they yelled, throwing the presents to the floor, "but we'll be back next year better than before. We saved Christmas this year, but what lies ahead?" they called out, flying home to their warm Christmas beds. and with one final cry they let out a cheer. To our friends and our family, to all we hold dear, to each and every one of you, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.